Hello, everyone, and welcome to the award-winning Kingsport Chamber Zone. We are the show that is all about Kingsport and this great community that we call home. I am Laura Woods with Eastman Chemical Company. He is my good friend, co-host, favorite tree decorator because he can get the star on top. Bob Fegans with the Kingsport Chamber of Commerce. And speaking of Christmas decorations, Bob, it's happy holidays time here in Kingsport.
Yes, it is.
The weather might mislead you just a little bit, but it is time to put the decorations out, and nobody does it better than Allandale Mansion. Truly one of the most beautiful places at Christmas time to be decorated, and that's where we are today.
This place always looks magnificent every day throughout the year, but especially during the holidays. And just inside the doors here at Allandale Mansion, their staff and volunteers are as busy as Santa's elves getting the mansion beautifully decorated for the Christmas season. We'll have a sneak peek at the Christmas tours at Allandale Mansion and tell you all about those. And if you are a friend of Downton Abbey, the popular TV show, then you're going to love an event they'll be hosting here in January. We'll tell you all about it.
A lot of exciting things going on at Allandale Mansion. There are also a lot of exciting things going on right here in the city of Kingsport, and those were highlighted by a summit that was held by the mayor, hosted by the mayor, just a few weeks ago, where a lot of creative minds came together to talk about some really great ideas, what the future might look like for Kingsport in the next 3 to 5 years. We will have none other than the mayor himself, John Clark, along with one of our favorites, city manager Jeff Fleming, on the show to talk to us about what the results were from that summit and what we can expect to see for our great city.
And a little later on today's CZ, we'll profile a wonderful organization in this community that's making a huge difference in the lives of teenagers. It's called Hope, and it helps develop and create life skills in these young kids that will help them in school and prepare them for their futures. We'll talk to the Hope's founder and President Stella Robinette, and have one of the very youth from Hope, Lily Sewell, on our show to tell you all about this wonderful organization.
Ooh, so much good stuff right here on this edition of the Kingsport Chambers, and we can't wait to get to it. But before we do, just like we always want to do, we want to tell you what's happening in the city. So here are the latest Kingsport Chamber events. So here recently in Kingsport, you've heard a lot of talk about what the city's future looks like. And when we think of the future, sometimes we're thinking of a long-term plan, but we're a little bit more ambitious than that, because right now what we're thinking about is what's the city going to be like in 3 to 5 years.
And here now to peer into Kingsport's crystal ball with us are the city's top 2 leaders right here on the CZ. Mayor John Clark and City Manager Jeff Fleming, or as Laura has now dubbed them, the dynamic duo. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Dynamic duo.
Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today.
We'll have your cakes ready for you.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Always.
Mayor, when we had you on the show earlier this year in the summer, you had just been elected as Kingsport's newest mayor by a wide margin. And one of the things you told us then, that one of your first things to do when you were elected to office was to hold a summit that would map out Kingsport's future.
Yes.
You've done that. It was hugely successful, and we want to talk about that and the ideas and plans from that summit in just a moment. But first, tell us a little bit about the importance of holding such an event and why you named this effort One Kingsport.
Well, I thought it was a real important event to bring people together in our community to have a conversation about the future of our city. And we've had so many major improvements and developments over the last 20 years since I've lived here. And as it turns out, that was pretty much based on the last summit that we had, where we had a fantastic conversation back in 1999. And that conversation really spurred on some amazing new ideas that were implemented over the last 15, 16 years. So most of those ideas that we now have seen as major improvements in our city have been accomplished. So I thought it was very fitting and very timely for us to get together and have another conversation now, because those improvements now form the foundation from which to build. And so the conversation that we had with the One Kingsport Summit was designed to do that. And it's called the One Kingsport Summit. Actually, it was Jeff who coined that phrase. because we really wanted to bring everyone together. We wanted to have our elected officials, our business and community leaders, as well as the general public all participating in helping us define and shape the future of our city.
And Jeff, at the summit, just so much brain power there, so many creative ideas that came out of that summit. And so there were some key areas that ended up being the core of the summit. Can you talk to us about those?
Sure. It's like that Trivial Pursuit game where you have the categories, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
There's like arts
so we're grabbing
the pie pieces,
for each one of these key areas. Okay.
There's arts and entertainment, there's health and wellness.
Sports and leisure.
Yeah. We
Yes.
didn't have science and nature, but we'll probably
Good.
get
That was always the hardest category
yeah, exactly.
anyway.
Destination city investments, downtown revitalization, arts and entertainment, housing, all these key areas that kind of just came through the conversation at the summit. And in each one of those areas, there are several initiatives that will be discussed by the stewards going forward. We always said at the summit was just a starting point.
Sure.
The real work is going to get done after the summit until the recommendations come out.
Right.
So we know that we have a great place to live, and we just want to make it even better.
Sure. Well, and so the leverage then from the summit would be the task forces that came about as a result of these key areas that were honed in on during the summit. So talk to us about what those task forces are going to do before they bring the proposal to the BMA.
The task force, as Jeff identified, really focused on 7 key areas. And so now that those areas have been validated and confirmed, the next step is for the work groups to get together. As Jeff mentioned, there's a steward who's kind of like the leader of each group, along with a staffer from the city and also an alderman. So we want to have some really good team leadership. And those team leaders have now been together, have now met with us, and are now out there working and recruiting. There are 18, 20 folks per person that are going to participate in each work group. Work groups now get together over the next 2 or 3 months, and the culmination of that will be somewhere around late March, early April timeframe, when each of the task force teams will then present the recommendations to the board for their approval and consideration, I guess. And then from that, then those that have been approved, then we're going to roll those into a 5-year plan. And that's really what we're pursuing with this summit, is the future 5-year roadmap for the BMA and the city management team and our partners to help us drive in the future.
That's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there was certainly a lot of energy and excitement and momentum that came out of the summit. It's continuing today throughout the entire community. People are very optimistic about the city's future. So how do you both feel about the direction in which Kingsport is headed?
I think Kingsport has a fantastic future ahead of it. The whole issue about the summit was to figure out what are the things we need to do, in addition to what we currently have, to help us achieve our vision. And our city has a fantastic vision, which is to be the premier city in the region, to live, work, raise a family, and for businesses to grow and to prosper. And so I think we're very much along that track. For the last 20 years, all the improvements have been geared towards that. So the idea about our future is how well can we complement the efforts and the progress that has been made over the last 20 years to help us achieve our vision even sooner than expected. And so as a result of that, I'm very confident that our future is bright. We have great people who want, I think, the same things, and that is to help us achieve our vision. And with the one Kingsport spirit that we seem to have here, that I think is so fantastic, it's really comprised of all the great residents that we have and businesses, partnerships that we have in town. I don't think there's any reason why we can't achieve our incredible future for our residents.
Right.
Just as you know, I just spoke to a group of leadership students from throughout the region, and the title was 28 years later. 28 years ago, I did Leadership Kingsport and dreamed of what might happen in Kingsport one day, and now we've had the opportunity to see that. And as I told them, believe it or not, I was once a young person as well, and I almost left the region because I thought I had to find that satisfaction, and I'm so glad I didn't. Actually,
we are too.
Yes, we are.
We are.
Yes. At a conference where a fellow told me, he said, if you leave now, somebody else is going to enjoy the fruits of all the labor that's been done in this area. And I think that's really true. So we're continually planting seeds, and I'm very optimistic that we're going to be around to watch them grow to fruition.
That's wonderful. So Jeff, if people want to learn more about the One Kingsport initiative, they want to hear about the task forces that have been set up, progress and that sort of thing, where do they get that information?
Our staff contacts are Lynn Tully and Justin Steinman. You can find them on our city website, but then you can also go to onekingsport.com. That's ONE Kingsport.com.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor John Clark, City Manager Jeff Fleming. Thank you all so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. We know you're really busy, so we appreciate that you took the time to come on here and share just this great outlook that we have for the city. And we appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Sure.
Thank you both. And when we come back on your CZ, we'll have a preview of Christmas at Allandale. And welcome back to your Keensport Chamber Zone, on location from one of Keensport's treasures, the beautiful and historic Allandale Mansion.
And of course, as we are approaching the Christmas season, this is going to be one of the wildly popular times for Allandale Mansion because the Christmas tours are coming up, and that's when you get to come into this mansion, see how it is so beautifully and expertly decorated for the holidays. Here to tell us more about those tours as well as some other things going on here at Allandale is Debbie Wagner. Debbie is a member of the board of the Friends of Allandale and has been a longtime friend of Allandale, and that's friend with a lowercase f as well. So Debbie, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so glad to have you here. And Allandale, it's such an iconic place in Kingsport, and you feel like everybody knows everything about it. But if we have some viewers out there who maybe aren't that familiar with it, could you give us just a little background about the mansion?
Sure. It's an antebellum house that was built by the Brooks. That was Harvey and Ruth Brooks, and it's been here since about 1950. And it was built as a cattle farm, and it's on a beautiful setting on several gorgeous acres with mature trees, and on this end of Kingsport. One of the coolest things about this house is that the staircase was actually brought up 11W. And they actually had to close the road to bring it here from Knoxville.
Well, you know that's an important staircase.
It is a very important staircase. And there's actually a picture in the house where the house was kind of copied from a house down near Knoxville. It has a lot of really nice things about it. It has mostly formal areas, hardwood floors, and tall ceilings, beautiful encasements around the windows, and beautiful furniture that most of it's been left by the Brooks.
Oh, wow.
It was left to Kingsport several years ago, and a lot of things have been added, like we have the Herring Dome and the barns, and then we have a new amphitheater.
Right.
And so there's lots of venues. It's a party place, and it's leased out by the city. And it has just a lot of venues that you can have parties in. And the city, on purpose, keeps the prices good so that brides and people who want to have different events here, it's very at a affordable price.
The Chamber Zone Band Club, for example.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, those two people can easily fit in one of the rooms. So, well, it is absolutely just a gorgeous place. It's a beautiful mansion, especially this time of the year. And as you can tell from one of the rooms we're in here today, you're getting ready for Christmas.
We are.
Christmas at Allandale is always very popular. You're getting ready for your tours. Christmas at Allandale. So tell us about that.
Okay. Every year we open the house up a couple of days, and this year it's December 5th and 6th. It'll be Saturday from like 1 to 6 and on Sunday from 1 to 5. And this year we have individuals from the board and Friends of Allandale who are down here decorating the house. And we decorate every room, and there's lots of trees, and the staircase is finished. And it's a beautiful place to start Christmas memories. It's a wonderful place to have pictures made. And so all the decorations are very fitting to the house, lots of formal things. And so we're very proud of our work and how the place looks. There is a fee to come into the house. It's like $3 for adults and $1 for children.
Oh, what a bargain.
Yeah, it really is a bargain. And so if you want to get in the mood for Christmas, it's a great way to get started.
For any fans of the popular TV show Downton Abbey,
Yes.
so it's the Downton Abbey at Allandale Mansion. Tell us about this fun
She's
event.
so excited. Can
She
you-
is, yeah. I wonder who created this event, you know? Yeah.
This is the second time that we're going to have this event here, and it's a sellout. It's just absolutely the most appropriate place in Kingsport to have this event. And for any of you who are friends of the show, you'll know that it's a very elegant thing, and that we spend many, many hours on dressing the tables. And we suggest that you wear period costumes, and everybody steps up to the plate. And we have an awesome chef that comes in and does it, and we have white gloved waiters. And it's just a very elegant evening. It'll be January 8th and 9th. And so tickets will be on sale. Actually, you can make a reservation now. And if you buy your ticket before December the 15th, you can get it for a lesser rate. It'll be $100, and after that, it'll be $125 per person. But it's like the most fun night, and people are really excited about having their costumes on. So
Sure.
it's nice.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely, and of course, Debbie, this place would not be the magnificent place it is without the tremendous support Allandale receives from the Friends of Allandale, of which you are one. So tell us about this wonderful group and how people can join Friends of Allandale and help support the mansion.
I'm glad you brought that up. We have a Friends of Allandale event here, and it's going to be Friday, December the 4th, from 6 to 8. And if you're a friend of Allandale, of course, you're welcome to come. If you would like to be a friend of Allandale, then there is a way to join and make a reservation. And you can call 229-9422, or you can get on our website, allandalemansion.com. And that night we have Divine Catering coming in, and we'll have refreshments and lots of fellowship. Actually, Friends of Allandale has about 400 members.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we have a great support system
Yeah.
in the community, and we look forward to that event every year. Of course, the house will be decorated, and it's not a dress-up event. It's actually a Christmas sweater, and come and enjoy the Friends of Allandale.
Right.
And people can join Friends of Allandale anytime throughout the year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We'd love to have your membership.
So Debbie, if people want more information about the mansion, about the venues, booking an event, just anything in general about Allandale, where would they get that?
Well, like I said, you could call the number here, which is 229-9422. And there's always somebody here. You can leave a message and we'll get back to you. Or you could get on our website. Or any of us who are Friends of Allandale would be more than happy to bring you aboard.
Sure.
Well, Debbie Wagner with Allandale Mansion and Friends of Allandale, thank you for hosting us today in this beautiful place.
Yes,
and
it was a pleasure.
For what you mean to this community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to talk to you about a wonderful youth organization in our community and how it's making a difference in our youth's lives right after this.
And welcome back to your Kingsport Chamber Zone on location from Allandale Mansion.
You know, we love talking about really fun, cool organizations in our community, especially those that are geared toward the youth and how to make them better citizens here in Kingsport. And we have one to feature for you today. We're so excited about it. It is Hope, and here to tell us now more about it now is Stella Robinette and Lily Sewell. Stella is the founder and president of Hope, and Stella, we are so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
And Lily Sewell is an 8th grader at Ross and Robinson Middle School, and she is also, see if I can get this right, Miss Sullivan County Teen Princess 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a win for me. Lily, we are so glad to have you here as well.
Thank you for having us.
Sure. Stella, Hope, we hear about you all. You do a great job of getting your name out into the news and the social media, but tell us about the organization.
Okay. HOPE stands for Help Our Potential Evolve, and one of the things that we try to do is pull the potential out of all of our youth, because they have them, And what we try to teach is life skills that they can carry on into adulthood.
And anybody who's been to a chamber event, for example, where the Hope youth are there, you know exactly those life skills that you're talking about, because they walk right up to you and shake your hand and introduce themselves to you and want to know more about you. So that's really cool.
Oh, absolutely. They're very poised and confident young men and women, as we're seeing here today. And Stella, tell us a little bit about that for a moment, because you do so much with these kids. So tell us what the kids experience when they come to Hope, and how it makes a huge difference in their lives.
Okay. One of the things is, with some of our youth, we want to break cycles. We want them to be very successful adults and give back to their community and be great leaders. You know, and leaders can be they can be entrepreneurs, or they can be a CEO of a company. Whatever their goals are is what we try to do. And so what we try to offer to them is they have a first, second, and third choice on the application. So Lily wants to be a model. So we put her with Miss Kingsport, Miss Sullivan County, where she can be in pageants, but also she can showcase herself and get into modeling contracts with other people. So that's why we do that. Plus they offer scholarships. Or like, for instance, we have a youth that wants to be an attorney. So she would job shadow an attorney. So we put them in those situations so they can get a clue about what they're going to be studying when they go off to college, because we don't want them to enter into college and then discover 2 or 3 years later down the road, after they spend a lot of money, that that's not what their career path is.
Absolutely.
Well, Lily, you are just a fine representative of the impact Hope can have on the lives of young people. And I know it's meant a lot to you, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lily Sewell. I am an 8th grader at Robinson Middle School. I tumble at East Tennessee Cheer and Gymnastics, where I also do competitive cheerleading. I'm a state champion in power tumbling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm Miss Sullivan County's Team Princess 2016.
That's great.
That's a list of accomplishments right there that I would not have had anything close to that in the 8th grade.
I still don't,
Actually,
you know.
I don't know that I would necessarily get that now. So, Lily, you're a member of Hope, and I know that for a lot of youth, there's something special about it for each one of you also. What is it for you in particular that you love about the organization?
What I love about Hope is that we get to take fun, exciting trips to different places that some of us have never been before. And this past spring break, we went to Savannah, Georgia, and we got to learn about the slave trade and the Underground Railroad, and that was really fun. And fall break, we went to New Orleans, and we got to help feed some of the homeless people.
Oh, wow.
And it was so moving, and it was such a great experience.
Sure. So if you have a friend at school, for example, and you want to tell them more about Hope and maybe get them to join, what would you say to them?
I would tell them that you're just surrounding yourself with people that love you and want the best for you and want to get you where you want to be in life later on, and that it's a lot of fun.
Sure. That's great.
Stella, there are a lot of kids out there that could benefit from Hope. So to talk about the kids you try to attract, and if there are kids out there that need Hope, how can they get connected to your organization?
Okay. Well, word of mouth also through our youth, they bring them in. But also we have a website, it's hopetricities.com, or they can contact me at 423-276-6541, and we will offer our program to anyone. We're very diverse, and we pride ourselves on that. You know, because I think that each one of these youth teach each other things about their lifestyles. So we're very, very interested in all youth that are middle school to high school.
You referenced the mentors a moment ago, and Hope could not do what it does without the great volunteer support. So talk a little bit about the volunteer opportunities at Hope and how people can become a volunteer.
Okay. We always are looking for volunteers, and the main goal of volunteers that we need are mentors, job shadowing, and then when we take our youth trips, we always are needing volunteers for that, because we really try not to take our parents, and this is why. It's teaching them to be independent youth.
Right.
before they leave the nest, so they can be responsible when they go off to college. So it gives us an opportunity to work with them on that. So we need volunteers that would be in a neutral corner.
Sure. So Stella, would you remind our viewers one more time, if people want more information about Hope, they want to volunteer, they want to help out, what's the best way to do that?
Okay, our website, and it's HopeTriCities.com, or they can contact me at 423-276-6541, or any youth member they can too as well.
Okay.
They're easily spotted in the community.
That's absolutely. So Stella Robinette and Lily Sewell with Hope, thanks for joining us today, and then thanks for the difference you're making in the lives of so many of our young people in our community.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
having
you
us.
both. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Stay tuned. We'll have more of your CZ from Allandale Mansion right after this.
Well, it's time to tie a ribbon on yet another Christmas edition of your King Sport Chamber Zone. We want to thank the very hospitable and friendly team here at Allandale Mansion for hosting us today. And this place it always looks stunning, but especially this time of year with all these beautifully decorated trees. Hope you'll come and visit. And as always, we want to thank the very festive team who's always in a Christmas spirit at Spectrum Reach for producing our show.
We want to remind you to find out what's going on in Kingsport. Please always watch us here on the Kingsport Chamber Zone. You can also visit the chamber. They're located at 400 Clinchfield Street. Give them a call, 392-8800. And if you're feeling social, they are as well. So you can like them on Facebook and you can follow them on Twitter. And then also go to the Chamber's website, kingsportchamber.org. And speaking of the Chamber,
yes,
it is time for the holiday after hours, and that will be taking place on December 3rd at the Meadowview Marriott Conference Resort and Convention Center beginning at 5:30. We will be there. We will be doing our show from there. That's reason to come out, but they also have fabulous food, and it's just a lot of fun.
Seeing us, just what people wanted for Christmas, right?
Certainly. Well, that should certainly get them on the good list.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good Samaritan act for the year.
And if you don't get enough of us that night, then come join us the very next week on Friday, December the 11th at 7:30 a.m. for a holiday breakfast, which will feature the state of your Kingsport Chamber of Commerce. Should be a fun event.
Yes, absolutely.
And also, again, a reminder for the Christmas tours here at Allandale on Saturday and Sunday, December the 5th and 6th. Just go to allandalemansion.com for all the details. And again, what a beautiful place this is.
Absolutely. It's just, you have to come down. You just have to see it.
Just come and visit. And until our next visit together on your King Sport Chamber Zone, we are Bob and Laura reminding you, especially during this Christmas holiday season, while you're out there shopping, to please be loyal
and buy local. Have a great week.